My name is Aaron McManus, and you are listening to the Battle Ready podcast. And I'm here with my dad, Erwin Raphael McManus.
It's good to be here with you.
This is your second episode back. You took a little hiatus.
Hiatus?
You big timed me. You started your own podcast.
Well, I think actually you started my own
You Harry
podcast.
styled me. You Justin Timberlaked me.
Wow, I'm a good category. That's good, yeah. But you know what? It could have been John Lennon'd you and you're
You
Paul
Beyonce'd
McCartney.
me.
No, you could be Paul McCartney. You go off and start Wings and you have a great career.
Paul McCartney was in Wings?
Yeah, he started a band called Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings,
after
the Beatles.
I need to do some more research on music.
For whatever reason, you never quite plugged into the Beatles early on.
Okay, can I get to business real quick? Can I get to business?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. So, first things first, subscribe to the Genius of podcast. I don't know if it's our sister podcast, our brother podcast, my father podcast, but if anyone's asking what came first, the chicken or the egg, Battle Ready came first and Genius of came second.
That's right. But on the Genius of, I'm getting to do what you've been begging me to do on Battle Ready for 2 years.
What, invite your friends over?
Yes. You keep wanting me to invite guests to Battle Ready, and I keep saying, I just really like doing this with you.
You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't let me do it.
That's because I had so much fun doing this with you. It wasn't that I didn't want to bring guests, is that I really love having conversations with you. But you also told me we need to bring guests. It would help expand the conversation. It would make it interesting.
Yes.
You would probably gain more listeners. And so everything you told me that we should do on Battle Ready, hey, guess what? We're doing it on the Genius of.
We are. So we're both going to spread our wings a little bit, which I'm excited.
That means you're going to have to carry more of the load of Battle Ready and have more interesting guests over here as well.
I called a few people yesterday.
And I just think that's also very exciting because you have some fascinating young friends with incredible stories, entrepreneurs, business guys, pioneers, artists, designers. And I think it can open up the floodgates to so many great conversations.
I think so too. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be really interesting. And I love, I often wonder, do we need to talk about where the podcast came from, the Battle Ready podcast? I like the origin story, because I think what we need to do is we need to add a little thing in our Instagram in the highlight section where it's our origin story. So here it is. That. I guess it would be 5 years ago now.
It's been a while.
Okay, so here it is. The origin story of Battle Ready. You, my father, Erwin Raphael McManus, wrote a book called The Last Arrow.
I did.
And in the midst of writing the book and in the finalization of it being edited in the process it goes through before it gets published, you found out you had cancer.
Yes.
And so the last chapter of The Last Arrow, and the entire book is about saving nothing for the next life.
Right.
Saving nothing for the way back, which is an old Gattaca reference, which is an old sci-fi movie.
Love that movie.
If you don't know the reference,
Ethan
you
Hawke.
need to get to the end of that movie. It's
Jude
brilliant. It's young Ethan Hawke, young Jude Law,
Uma Thurman.
It is before Uma Thurman was huge.
And before Uma was with Ethan, I think.
Oh, they were a thing?
Yeah, no, they are.
This isn't about the origin of Ethan and Uma, it's the origin of Battle Ready.
I digress to Gattaca.
So you write this final chapter called Battle Ready in your book. And I decided, I came to you and I said, if you pass away, there's so many questions I have to ask. And I want to ask them, and I want other people to be a part of the process of me asking them.
Yep.
Can we do a podcast together where I ask you questions and you answer them? And that's how Battle Ready began.
Right. We started Battle Ready because when I came through the journey of cancer, you asked me to do this so that you and I could have conversations and leave the conversations not only just for you and for your future grandchildren, but also for others who could gain from the conversations we have together.
Right. So here we are on this podcast, and it really is about resilience and overcoming obstacles in life, whether it be physical or mental.
It's about being battle ready.
Whether it be spiritual, or anything else in life. And so it is about being battle ready, and it's a really interesting focus, I think, and a really good topic for our podcast. Your new podcast, The Genius Of, though, is unlocking the genius within each and every person that you interview.
It's a little different, yes. And I think here on Battle Ready, we talk about whatever we want, and for me, the theme of Battle Ready is the conversation you wish someone was having.
Yes.
And we just take on everything, even if we don't have an expertise, and we just really talk about common insight, common wisdom, common concerns, and we go at it. The Genius Of is a little different in that
this is a commentary.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is just a running commentary on life, on culture, on everything that's going on around us, on what is affecting us this week, because we know it's affecting other people. And it's amazing how many people have reached out saying, I'm so glad someone's finally having this conversation.
Yes.
And I think that our best conversations are when we disagree.
Yes.
When we hold different positions.
Yes.
And I think it's funny that people actually think that we always hold the position that we argue for.
No.
We don't.
No, we don't. And
it wouldn't be
sometimes
fun
we do it, and sometimes we change our minds.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun if we both just came up here and said, no, we both have the same view on this.
Yes.
And
I was like a Republican for 6 months. And then I switched back, and then COVID happened, and then like the vaccine happened, and I switched back again. So who knows what I am?
Yeah, but I think you're doing what a lot of Americans are doing. They're trying to figure out, where they're at. And just like politically, there's probably no party that represents any person perfectly. And there are so many positions that don't reflect us all perfectly. And sometimes we forget to be nuanced. And Battle Ready tries to really open up the nuances of the conversation.
Yes.
But the Genius Of, the line I really love for me that inspires me is that every superhero has an origin story. And I love origin stories. I just was watching Batman Begins again with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite movies to watch over and over again because I love origin stories. I love when we get to see the story behind the hero, what made them who they were, what was their trauma, what was their crisis, what is their struggle for identity, and how did they overcome that? And whenever we see people who express some level of genius, we forget they have an origin story, that there was a journey for them. And for a lot of them, there wasn't an overwhelming sense of their own genius or greatness or capacity.
Yeah.
There was fear and frustration, insignificance, insecurity, failure. And so in the Genius Of, it really isn't about just getting them to teach us what they've learned. It's about getting inside of their story of how they discovered their own personal genius so that we can maybe learn from that and figure out how to discover our own.
I love that. Okay, so in the theme, in the spirit of the Genius Of and collaboration, I want to play a clip. And so this is kind of like my Jimmy Kimmel moment where I'm bringing on my celebrity guest and I go, you're in a new movie. I heard you're in a new movie releasing this fall. I want to talk to you about the movie. And then like maybe it's like a quippy little joke about, I heard something crazy happened on the movie. And then I go, okay, just, you know what? Let's just play the clip.
So this isn't your Between Two Ferns moment.
No, I'm not going to say anything awkward. You're my dad. So we're going to play the clip. It's a clip from your most recent episode of The Genius Of.
With Angela Davis.
Angela Manuel Davis. Who is so many things. And in the interview, you don't talk about it because Angela is her own person.
Yes.
But I'm going to talk about it.
We can talk about it here.
Yes. Angela is also
married to Jerome Davis. Who's amazing.
Is amazing. And we have to have him on because the way they met is incredible.
Yeah, he was a world-class athlete,
like a movie.
Amazing human being.
Yeah, don't tell the story, but we got to get him on here.
Okay.
And then she has other siblings.
And she is the sister of... Oh, go ahead.
My show.
Go ahead.
Just kidding. Your show. You can have it.
No, go on.
You can have it.
No.
I was going to talk about her dad next.
Go talk about her dad.
But I can't remember his name. But I can literally see his mustache in my brain.
Tess, what's Angela's dad's name?
I thought it was Jerry.
Jerry Sr. Her dad's name is Jerry Sr.
Yes, it is.
And he used to be the manager of some pretty cool MLB
I know he was
teams.
the manager of the Chicago White Sox.
We knew that.
I think he was also the manager of the New York Mets.
And I think was he the Brewers as well?
We're looking that up. We're doing some fact checking on ourselves.
He was a manager, a pro baseball
for decades.
Manager. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. And then his son is Jerry Lorenzo, who also does Fear of God.
Who's the founder of Fear of God, the designer, the genius behind Fear of God.
Yes. And that needs to happen at some point, you and him on the genius of that needs to happen. But what I love about Angela is, one, she is definitely an artist.
Oh, through and through.
Through and through. She was a track and field star.
Yes,
Sprinter.
Just like her husband, Jerome.
Yes. And then they met, fell in love, had children, and and her story is really amazing. Do you guys talk about how, like, origin story of hers?
We do. We really go back into her story.
So I won't recap that, but her story is incredible. She somehow gets into SoulCycle, and I'll leave that for, I'm sure, your podcast. And then that blows up.
Right.
And she becomes kind of bigger than the brand in her own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been to her class, and I hate SoulCycle, and not because of the brand. I just
No, you hate cycling.
Cycling
in stationary cycling
because it isn't. It's dancing on a bike. But I love Angela Davis's class because it's like going to church on a bike. So you're both spiritually filled and angry at the same time because your legs hurt so bad you want to vomit. But when I went to her class, it was David Beckham, it was Jay-Z, it was Beyonce, it was No ID, famous record producer
Olivia Wilde.
Who else?
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry was always.
David Beckham.
Beckham was there. Beautiful David Beckham.
David Beckham.
And I remember the only time I ever rode twice in a row, it was because Angela afterwards was like, hey, David, like, meet Aaron. And he's like, mate, are you going to ride for a second time? And I was like, yeah. Yes,
How come in the list of all those amazing people that she had in her class, you never mentioned me?
You never went?
I went twice.
No.
I did.
No.
I have proof.
That's not true.
I have wounds. I have psychological scars.
There was like
proof that I've been.
There was like a season where you sent me and Joe Smith all the time.
I did.
And we would literally be like, you ready for this? And I'd be like, no, I'm not ready for this.
Whenever Angela would text me and say, you're coming tomorrow, I'd send you.
Send me and Joe a group text. One or both of you are going. Okay, we're going.
Yeah, so I'll go, but my bike needs to be genuinely stationary.
Yes.
Where the pedals don't move. or the wheels.
Yes. Okay. We're going to check out this clip, and then we're going to talk about it.
Awesome. What is the biggest lie people believe about themselves? And what is the most important truth you want to impart to those people you train and to even those who are listening?
Yeah. I think
What's the biggest lie?
I can't. You hear so much, I can't, before people even try. That blows my mind. I can't. But you didn't try. I can't. How many times does I can't stop us from even trying? And what I believe is there's an ingredient in your try that'll take you to the next level.
So everyone who's listening right now who would say, I can't.
Try.
What would you tell them?
Try. Put something on it. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the Olympian. You don't have to be the Picasso, but try. Try. It's good to not be good at something.
Oh, that's good.
It's so good not to be good in something.
Well, then I'm living a really good life because I do so many things.
But it's good to put yourself in that.
Yeah, it's so true.
It grows you and it stretches you and it expands your territory.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just try.
That is so good.
One thing that I really love about this moment is that when it's so special, but when Angela says, I hear so much, I can't, before people even try. So that we want to I think I want to talk about that on this episode. This idea of can't.
All right, well, let me give you a little nuance insight in the interview.
Okay.
I asked Angela, what are the mindsets that you find are so limiting for people? And when she says, I can't, I thought she was saying to me, I can't do that. I can't describe a mindset. So I thought she was telling me I can't.
So you guys get in a fight?
No. I thought, oh, she can't answer this question. She can't give me an insight here. And then all of a sudden when she says, I can't, I realize, oh, she's not telling me she can't give me the answer. She's giving me the answer. And the answer is I can't. And so yeah, I had to kind of go with it. I had to act like I understood right away. And I thought, this is a perfect metaphor. I literally thought she was saying I can't because that's what people do so oftentimes. You take them someplace where uncomfortable and they go, I can't go there.
Well,
but she went there.
She did.
And then it was such a great insight when she said people just say, I can't.
Before they even try.
Yeah. And I find that to be so practically true because most people may not say out loud, I can't. They just don't.
Yeah.
And when a person doesn't do something they've wanted to do, it is the I can't. And it's not even I won't. They actually believe they're not capable of doing so much that they're capable of. You won't know what you're not capable of until you've pushed the boundaries of what you are capable of.
Where does this idea of I can't come from? Because I know that like when I was growing up, a big phrase that like had huge definition over my life and it was really tough and it was internal and it was, struggling with OCD and struggling with identity and all of these things that you go through as like a young man growing up in life, where it was like, I'm not this or I'm not that.
Yeah.
And this idea was so, I think, stemmed from failure of maybe being afraid of failing or being embarrassed to fail or maybe just, but it feels like I can't is a step further. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
I think some of it is rooted in a connection between failure and acceptance. That as a child, if you believe, if I fail, I will be such a disappointment to the people that I love or that I need their love, that I will lose their love, I will lose their approval, I will lose their acceptance. And so the moment there's a connection between failure and acceptance, you start becoming more vulnerable to the mindset of I can't. Does that make sense?
I do. I think, but where does it come from, you feel like? That's the cross. I think on an X and Y scale, that's the common denominator. That's the crossroad.
Sure.
But where do you think it originates?
Yeah, I think it comes out of sincere, I'll use parenting right now, sincere parenting that maybe needs to be slightly altered. Like when we're always complimenting our kids for what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
They immediately begin to connect with, oh, my parents love me when I succeed. They love me when I achieve. They love me when I'm at this standard. Rather than expressing affection without a connection to accomplishment. I think it's really important to help someone know you're loved regardless. Like finding, making sure you affirm their character, not just their accomplishments. And you go, oh, I just love the way you were so forgiving. I just love the way that you were generous in that moment. And I think affirming character is so much more important than affirming accomplishment. And then on the negative side, because I know this happens too, it's when a child feels like love is being withheld from them or affection is being withheld because they failed.
So you feel like the fear of failure comes from when affection is tied to success.
Yeah, and it's not just your parents; it can be peers. When you realize, oh, in the classroom, if I hit the ball during recess, everybody cheers me on. If I strike out,
right,
I'm rejected and I'm not a part of the group anymore.
Well, I mean, I do think that most of our educational process is like hardwiring children to be success driven, right?
Yeah.
Or now I don't think it is at all. I think it's success is the enemy. That equality is
right,
our only success.
Yeah, and so it becomes unhealthy now because you're telling a child, oh, you're awesome, even if you disconnected from any actual action or choices.
But you said show affection that's disconnected from accomplishment.
From achievement and accomplishment, yeah, in terms of you're loved because you hit a home run or you're loved because you got an A, right, as opposed to you're loved and I want you to do your best.
But isn't that the same as giving everyone trophies at the end of the season? You're saying
yes.
Give the trophies up front.
No, what I'm saying is give the trophies for different things. Give trophies for kindness. Give trophies for integrity. Give trophies for compassion.
The Ted Lasso episode, the best dressed. You pick.
Yeah, I think that there's a pendulum. So now we've pendulum to, my child graduated from kindergarten. The trophy, the participation trophy, where you're giving you're not solving the problem by giving a trophy to everyone for nothing.
What are you talking about? Your child graduated from kindergarten. It's illegal if he doesn't graduate. He's inside of the law. That teacher fails.
You don't graduate from kindergarten. You just simply exist.
They just let you go.
But I do think that there's a definite connection there. So ironically, resilience can actually be harmed in an environment where you're living your life with a need for outside affirmation.
Okay.
And like for myself, I didn't grow up with any, I would say close to zero outside affirmation. And in fact, I'd be hard pressed to think of almost any conversation or moment in my life where I had outside affirmation from the people in my family system or world system. And I needed that really desperately, like every child does. And so I had something in my life, it clicked inside of me. I thought, if I'm going to value myself or believe I can do something, it's going to have to come from the inside out. Yeah. It's not going to come from an outside source.
Yeah.
And it could have crushed me going, I'm not anything, I'll never accomplish anything, I'm insignificant, which I struggled with that. But instead what it did is ended up fueling me. And I decided, I'm going to prove everybody wrong, And I wonder sometimes if some people have a different internal structure. And so the way they respond to crisis and those kind of circumstances are different. But I also think that some of it is that it can almost become like a survival mechanism. Like a lot of the guys I know that are super successful, super affluent, super driven, they come from incredibly troubled backgrounds. I mean, just harsh beginnings. And they live in fear of poverty, and they're living their life proving to everyone in their life that they're not what they were told they were. And so they took these two negative fuels and turned them into a positive outcome of accomplishment, of really making something with their life. But at the same time, you can feel it, you can see it, it's so clear that they still struggle with an identity crisis, and they still don't know. They're afraid to fail, so they don't fail. They have addressed failure by not failing,
right?
Or hiding it when they do fail, or overcompensating. And so it's the Lamborghini and the photographs, and it's the private airplane, and it's the two girls on each arm, and it's like an overcompensation for a lack of significance and of esteem and of a healthy sense of self, so I think that I can't is a really powerful thing. And I've heard I can't in my head a million times. And so I use I can't personally as a personal compass into my future. Whenever I tell myself I can't, I go for it. I just start, because I tell myself, all right, I'm not going to let my internal narrative decide whether I can't. I'm going to try. And if I fail, then I'll go, okay, maybe I can't, but I tried. And I think trying is more important than even doing in that sense. Although Yoda says there's no try, there's only do.
Does he say that?
Yeah, Yoda says that. Okay. Yeah, and
I gotta hit him up.
And there is no try, only do.
There's no try, only do.
And I would say that there is no do until you try.
Okay,
that's my Yoda moment.
Okay, I like it. I accept it. I accept your Yoda moment.
I'm trying to do fact checking on Yoda.
No, I'm not.
Okay. No, I'm just telling the back room there, just so you can find it. Yoda is not an actual person, okay? He's not a real person.
Yoda is a little green monster from Star Wars.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that you're searching in the right information, not looking for Andrew Jackson and Benjamin Franklin and Yoda and Gandhi and Mandela.
So I think that's a good little snippet section on can't.
That's good.
You think it's good?
Yeah, we can.
We can.
We did it.
Football is life.
Aaron has now suddenly become addicted to Ted Lasso. And
Football is life.
Okay, here's a perfect example. I begged you to watch Ted Lasso.
I can't do it.
You poo-pooed it. You're like, I don't want to. It's not my thing.
Can't do it. Not into comedy.
You even thought less of us because we like Ted Lasso. And you missed the whole first season because of it.
I didn't miss it. I just watched it. I delayed
gratification.
Yes. I was patient.
But then I just kept bugging you. You probably thought we were irritating you. We probably were irritating you. You were. Between me and your mom and your sister.
Yeah. And everyone.
And so finally you watched an episode, but you didn't like it right away. It took you a minute.
It took me a couple episodes to like it. I didn't dislike the first one. I just wasn't sold. People kept saying, oh, if you like The Office, you're like this. And I hate The Office.
Right. And I'm not a fan of The Office.
Not a fan of The Office. I'm just not.
Yeah.
But I don't care if Ted married Mary. Or whatever her name is. Pam, Ted. What was this? Pam and who? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Get out of The Office.
My point of this, though, is just like I can't, you're so certain that this would not be something you'd enjoy.
Yes.
And so you tell yourself, I hate it. You hate it without ever having experienced it.
Yeah.
You create a mental reality that doesn't exist in the physical reality. And then once you break through, you realize, oh, I love this. And you start laughing out loud.
Yeah.
See, I think it's the same experience like with food. People say, oh, no, I hate whatever. Kim hated oysters for almost all of her life. She wouldn't even try it, but she hated them. She'd never tried them.
Yeah.
It's amazing you could hate something you've never tried.
It's crazy.
And then about 5 years ago, we were on the coast here and we went to a restaurant and I had oysters because I love raw oysters. And she goes, okay, I'll try one. And she fell in love and she ate all 12 of them. And basically I'm going, wait a minute, this sharing thing, I'm not sure if I want to do this. And she goes, this, and she didn't just like it. She goes, this is my favorite food in the whole world. Well, how can you go from hating oysters to now it's your favorite food in the whole world? See, I actually think that we have self-limiting boundaries that we established in our own minds. And I can't is one of those.
Okay.
And if you begin to realize, oh, on the other side of these assumptions of I can't or I won't, or I'm going to hate that or I can't do that, there may be the most extraordinary experience in your life. Maybe we would risk a little more past the I can'ts.
Yeah. I remember I have an I can't moment. I was so unathletic. Unathletic. Let me say it again. Because I'm so unintelligent right now.
Inintelligent. No, I'm just joking.
Okay. I was so unathletic in middle school. And I was so unathletic until probably I really didn't become athletic till my senior year in high school. Mm-hmm. I was such a late bloomer, which is so funny now because especially when girls snubbed me back then,
Are you still holding that against
the
female race? Tess, it sounds like he's embittered toward half the world's population because
I'm not.
Was a geek up to high school.
I'm not. But look at me now, girl. But look at me now without braces.
You blossomed.
I blew up. What is it called? I glowed? I glowed up?
You glowed up.
I glowed up. I didn't glow up. I'm like a supernova now. I'm a shooting star.
If you need that, yes, baby, you are.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I apologize to all of our listening audience that this is.
I needed that from me.
All right, you've had your moment.
But I had this moment, and to make the basketball team, you had to run a 5K. But I was 14 or 15, and I was so not I had no shape. I wasn't fat. I wasn't skinny. I was very skinny, very unathletic. That just wasn't going to happen. And I remember I ran it and I made it and I prayed the whole time. This was my prayer. Don't laugh at me. It was like a Bible verse. It was one I can remember from Sunday school. It was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And at one point I was like, is it if I fail, does this mean
Jesus failed.
that he's not my battery source for this? No, but really, I think those are that was a moment for me that it was like, you know what? That was a lot of mental power. Like physically, I wasn't going to run it faster than hardly anyone, but I could survive it and I could get through it. And I love the stat. What is it that like your body can do? Your mind can go. Was it like, or your body can go 60% more than when you feel like you can fail?
Yeah, I think it might be even 80%.
80%? Like
Yeah.
when the moment you feel like you can't do it anymore, you actually have 80% more capacity in your body and in your mind.
Yeah, and I think if we thin slice what you just said, there's a really great insight.
Okay, what is it?
Because you were saying you were not athletic and then you had to run this 5K.
Yeah.
But actually, running a 5K isn't about athleticism, it's about conditioning.
Right.
And a lot of people confuse the lack of talent with the lack of discipline.
Wow. I said this. Keep going.
Yeah, and so you were capable of running 5K. It wasn't that you were not athletic enough, it's that you were not conditioned enough.
Right.
And conditioning is about discipline.
Okay.
Athleticism is about talent.
Okay.
And a lot of times I think people think, oh, I can't, I don't have the talent. But actually what they're saying is I can't, I don't have the discipline. And as you because what happened to you after high school is you decided to become super disciplined.
Super disciplined.
And you became disciplined. You were a disciplined reader. You read like wildfire. You read way more than I do. You became physically disciplined. You started working out and exercising. You became structurally. You would read and pray and read your Bible way more than I did.
Yeah.
And you just established a lot of disciplines in your life along the way. And those disciplines looked like suddenly raw talent, but you always had raw talent. It's just that when they merged with the level of discipline, then it became realized.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can't because they're not willing to pay the price, not because they don't have the talent.
I love that. I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good for this episode.
It's good.
I feel good about it.
Yeah. Oh, can we bring up one more thing?
Sure. It's your birthday.
Ah.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday well, I guess when this podcast releases, it will be tomorrow.
Yeah. It's Friday and my birthday is tomorrow on Saturday.
8/28.
58.
58.
That's when I was born. 8/28/58.
So crazy. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday. Do you have a birthday wish?
Well,
I have one for you, so you can do whatever you say, and then I have one.
Well, to me, it's amazing. Tomorrow I turn 63 years old. It's, it's crazy to think about being that old.
What? You look amazing.
And
doesn't he look amazing,
there you
everybody?
go. And thank you so much. I guess if I'm going to have a very precise birthday wish, my birthday wish is that millions of people will read The Genius of Jesus.
I love that.
Yeah, because I really believe it will transform the way people think about Jesus and relate to him.
I do too.
And I think it's the most important book I've ever written in my life. I don't think there's ever been a book in modern history written about Jesus that sees Jesus in this way. And so my birthday wish is that the genius of Jesus would permeate the conversation across the world.
I love that. I love that. And this is my birthday wish for you.
Okay.
Is that everybody who is listening to this podcast right now goes and pre-orders the book.
Mm.
And if you've already done it, go pre-order it for a friend and send it to that friend. If you believe in Jesus, if you don't believe in Jesus, if you're on a journey, if you just love genius, if you have a friend who likes TED Talks, if you have a friend who doesn't like TED Talks, if you have a friend who doesn't like to read, get him the audiobook.
I just read the audiobook, so I'll read to you every night.
Every night. And on top of that, I'm doing something kind of exciting.
You are doing so many things that are exciting.
I'm doing a book club, a battle-ready book club.
Wow.
And around the genius of Jesus.
That's so
which
good.
I've never done before. I've been a part of book clubs.
I might even drop in.
You might drop in on the first one.
I might drop in.
So the prerequisite has been this, and you guys have been amazing because so many of you, hundreds of you, have screenshotted the receipt, purchase order receipt of you pre-ordering the book and sending it to me on DM.
So a requirement to be in your
Podcast.
Bible study is to pre-order the book.
Pre-order the book, sign up for the book club, and the link is in the bio at Battle Ready Podcast Instagram. Super simple. So DM me the photo of the receipt and sign up.
Awesome. Well, if you're listening and you love Battle Ready, yes, the best birthday gift you can give me is go right now and pre-order the book, The Genius of Jesus, and let's get the message out. And every time someone buys a book, it allows the book to have a more prominent space in the world of social media, so that more people will actually get the message and get the book and have an encounter with Jesus that will surprise them.
All right. I love you.
Hey, I love you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Hey, you got to end by wishing me happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
And thank you so much.
Happy birthday. You are a gift. I'm so grateful for you. I hope you enjoy this day from sunrise to sunset. I hope you enjoy it on Friday at 9 p.m. when all the music releases and it's considered midnight on the East Coast. I hope that's your birthday and that starts.
Yep, I'm going to watch all the time zones so that my birthday will be longer.
Yes.
All right, take care.
Love you, Dad. Thank you so much for listening to the Battle Ready podcast. I am so grateful for every single one of you that tunes in every week. Whether you're listening to it on Apple Podcast or Spotify, or you're watching it on YouTube, we are just so grateful. We're so grateful that you've taken time each week to just join us and be a part of this journey of Battle Ready podcast and a part of the family of Battle Ready. There's some exciting things that we've been talking about a lot. And the reason why we're talking about it is because you matter and this matters, and we think the things that matter in life should meet each other. So if you're a part of this podcast, or maybe you're a first-time listener and you're going, what is the genius of Jesus book? What is the genius of podcast? It is a new project. It's new projects, and we are always starting new projects. So go, and more importantly this week, because 805 of you have rated this podcast and reviewed it, and thousands of you have subscribed to the YouTube channel, I want you to go to Erwin Raphael McManus on YouTube, where the genius of podcast is hosted. I want you to hit subscribe there. And then I want you to go over, I don't know, this is a lot of homework, but it's really simple. It's really easy. And I'm grateful for you guys doing this. Go to Apple Podcast and give it 5 stars. So the genius of podcast, subscribe to it, follow it, give it 5-star, and let us know what you think. My dad has done episodes with Ed Millett, Angela Davis, Jamie Lima, and next week, an incredible guest appearance from John Gordon. I cannot wait. So go and do that now. We love you guys, and we're so grateful for every person who sponsors the podcast through Anchor, who listens and reviews, who shares this, who posts this, who DMs and messages us, who comments every week, and we could not do this without you. We're so grateful. This is one of the most exciting times in the history of this podcast and our church and our family and my dad's life, and this is going to be exciting. We'll talk to you soon.